Hello,
Hello.
can you introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Guilhem Pratz, and I'm owned two companies here in France called Gaia and Gaia Company. And Gaia means Earth. It's the Earth, the god of Earth. And it's company I've got from 18 years here in Paris. And originally I work about multimedia design. So, and mostly for television, so I make television design for many years. And aside of that, with expression of brands on television or multimedia screen. But from the 90s, I work on very different supports, television, electronics, even prints. So it's a way of coordinate style and brand communications on many supports. And so I made that for years and years. And at the beginning of 2000, I started try to come in a deeper relationship with audience and working with program on televisions and now on film. And I produce a collection for television on the history of cinema. So for 6 years now. So we made 105 episodes. And 3 years ago, I started developing fiction and cinema, movie cinema. But in a way of, I'm very, the thing which attracts me the most and on which I'm very concentrated is the concept of things. So for many years I worked for a goal, so as a service, I offer to clients to find them good concepts for communication, and now I try to develop concept for making program and tell a story. So I want to tell a story, maybe with commercial partners and brands, maybe, but I want to mostly invest my time on telling story and bring the audience and viewers and in a universe and to bring in dreams and feelings and dropping in a full story with characters and so on. That's my evolution.
And is this?
This is a conception of a television series on 6 episodes, and for that. Because I like working on team, so we try to work with different scenarists and to link 8 different people writing the same story. So to have different inputs, sensitive input. So this is there was the main working sessions, collective working session to decide, okay, what's happened in episode 1, what's happened in episode 3. So I very like working with Post-it, because you have an idea, okay, or we put an idea, we don't know in which episode it will be, so we just put it here aside and say, okay, maybe it will be good things on episode 2, so we put it on episode 2. So if we do that, maybe we will have an echo in episode 4, so we put something in episode 4. And we built the skeleton of the episode collectively, so like that, and when we agreed, 8 people agreed about, okay, this is the good architecture, so we can start writing. So
extremely interesting.
Before writing anything, we just decide who are the characters. The characters, this one. What is the main guideline of the story? The line is this. We start to build it. We spend many days, and there was a working session of 2 months. So 3 times a week, half a day. So creative session. Sometimes we don't have any ideas, so okay, you spend time with just 1 or 2 ideas. Sometimes it's very we have 20 ideas, and but it's a creative process, collective, and really I love that way of writing, because you can. Now we just start with just 6 episodes. But with these methods, we can handle 20 or 30 episodes very easily with few people. If not, if you're just one writer or 2 writers on one episode, it takes 2 months to write one episode. So if you want to make 22 episodes, you need 3 years. 3 years. So working in this way, you can bring 10 people here, and in 4 months we can make the 20 episodes. So it's very fast and qualitative. So, and this is project for a series with it's a multimedia fiction history, because there's a lot of things about on the mobile telephone. So some few video we prepare for viewing on mobile phone. A lot of internet site around, because all the characters have got an internet activity. So when we intend to broadcast episode 3, for example, there will be events on internet coming in the same time of the broadcast diffusions of the episode. So there's something you see on screen on television, and there's a reality also on internet. So the viewer can see actions and have emotion on screen, and go to internet and see, wow, there's happened something else. So you have documentation, you have a reaction of the characters, the protagonists of the series. We have a blog on the internet, so we write the blog because it happened something on fiction on screen. So we work in kind of multimedia, in a wider vision of fiction. So it's a fiction. The main guideline is coming from the broadcasting, but there's a lot of things. 30% of all the fictions happen on the internet and on telephone mobile. So, and it's in this case, it's a thriller. This is the genre is a thriller.
And you create the TV and the mobile content and the internet content?
Yes, all in the same time. We've got this side. We're at the beginning of the process, and it's a project we develop now, and we will deliver the conception beginning of next year. For example, we say, okay, episode 1, there's an event on the fictions, what happened on the internet, what happened on mobile phone, and we've got some connections this way. So the episode will be 1 episode 1 week, so it's a 6-week process, maybe 8, but it's 6-week process. So during the 6 week, the viewer can have things on television, have things on mobile, on the internet, and move himself in fictions, in the storytelling. It's a full fiction. It's dreaming. It's like a book. I mean, it's but you can deliver emotions and information to the viewer in different place. Sometimes he's in the subway, he has got an information, there's something happened, something happened, you go to internet, wow, there's many things, blogs, reaction, etc. And after the episode start and say, it happened a very terrible things 2 days ago, and blah, 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 blah. And so this thing on fiction, when we broadcast it, we will have produced it months before, but when the viewer is catch in the process, we just say it happened 2 days before. So we do things on the internet, on the mobile, to say it happened something now. It's fiction, and the day after you have it on screen during the fiction. So we tried this new way of combining support media to tell a story to the people, and to say, okay, now it's not a question just of story on television or on cinema. We have to combine all the things together in one story. So that's what we try to make.
Interesting. Is this new in France too, or is other programs doing it too?
Nothing of this kind has been produced yet. Well, many people to think about it.
Yes.
I mean, in France, we're talking about cross-media for 2-3 years. So we know we go in this direction. But for the moment, no one has really made a proposal coherent in this field. We know that there's a few projects very similar, but it's very different. That until now, what we do, what the Americans do also, they make a show on television and you decline the show on the internet. So it's kind of promotion. but it's very different. I mean, we don't want to make promotion, we want to make action. So you do something on television and it happens something else on the internet, but link it with the fiction. So for example, in this series we have got 12 main characters. There are some characters we have got a print on the internet. Some are very active, some other not. But there's, for example, there's politicians. One of the characters is a politician, so he has got a blog, he has got fan. Each week so he goes on internet and he has got a forum, so you can talk to him. And so he has got all his personality, family photo. His son has got a profile on Facebook and so on. It's fiction. It's all fiction. But when you see in the television, okay, you have got the story and so on, and say, okay, you just see the son coming and just 1 minute, and the son say, oh, okay, this weekend go to my girlfriend nowhere. No, you don't go there. Okay, it's just very few seconds. But you go to internet, you go, okay, the son has got a blog, and the blog is telling, okay, I've got a friend, da 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 da. So maybe the friend of the son of this politician, which is one of the characters, may witness something in episode 2 episodes after. So you just put something emotional on the internet, which come back to the fiction 2 episodes after. So it's taking on. So if you're a viewer of the fiction and you are attracted by 1 or 2 characters, and the fiction just give you a few minutes of this character, you can go to the internet and spend hours with him. So if you love. Yeah, there's a very handsome man and say, wow, it's very beautiful, I want to know a little bit better on him. You go to the internet, you can talk to him, you can see other things of him, complementary actions. So, and all organized in the same story, because this is a full story we organize. I can show you, I will show you also another diagram on this project.
While we walking, can you explain about these two? What is this?
This is our design research for a new brand of champagne.
So you created several samples here?
Yeah. And so it was a research I did a few years ago.
You have piles of documents.
Yes, because
18
I'm dealing
years.
with design. I'm dealing with design and every kind of design. Design of object, design of architecture, design of mostly for television, but so it's all creative inputs to find ideas. My work is finding ideas, good ideas for others.
And is this your design work too?
Yes. Oh, that was set 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
And that was for a film.
What was this for?
I made it to make a short presentation of program. So, and it works. I mean, it's an old television working.
How does this work? It's a television?
Yes,
what's this? This is the board?
Yeah, this is the back of the television.
So and you pulled it out, and
yes.
you.
And you can. It's a regular television.
It's a regular television.
It's an old-style television, prehistoric television.
That is so interesting. I love your office.
Really? Thank you. So it is all for the ideas input, and so when we work on project, we buy books and to find the right ideas. So we need to know a lot of things on art, on the civilizations, on the other media, photography, mostly art, architecture, painting. Detail on this project. It's a thriller, and we have got 2 lines on the thriller. One is because the event starts. We find in the subway. All the subway go to coma, and people are down sleeping, and we don't understand what happened. And the police arrive. the sanitary organization arrive and say, we don't understand what the people are falling down, so we're in coma. And so we start to make an enquête, so like a thriller, and we'll find it's with terrorists, with some small tests about magnetic bombs. So this is the thriller line. And on the other way, those people falling to coma together, sometimes they wake up. And when they wake up, they discover that they share dreams together. And they're part of the memory from one character to another character, moving. So they didn't know them before. Like you go to the subway, you don't know all the people. And you fall down with them. When you wake up, you have got a part of the memory of the other, so you don't understand exactly what you feel, what you feel on other characters. So those people will learn to live together and to do something together because they link it together. So, and they share dreams. They don't know, but they share dreams, and they are not their own dream. I mean, like I've got your dreams in my head. So this is the second line of the project, where what are those dreams is the fantastic part of the project. So, and about the multimedia, so the name is Synchronicity, and maybe I've got one diagram. Donc c'est ça, tac tac tac. Just wait, voilà. So this is more or less the timeline of the thing. We've got the episode series in 6 weeks. We have got many small elements, video on television, mobiles, SMS, many information on mobile phone. This is all the internet site and the category with something we put on internet many months before to be ready on time, and some internet events link it very close to the timeline of the broadcasting of the episode, and some post-internet sites when we try to make community, and we have got a specialist analyzing the the dreams the characters made. So we put on internet, okay, they did this dream, and we open a forum, and what kind of dream had you? Have you a dream similar before? And so the people can say, okay, yes, I got myself one dream like that 5 years ago. It was very strange, and he tell his dream. So we have also this kind of activity just to try to push, to make a proposition to the viewers, and maybe it open a community gate, and they can feed with their own experience. So the fiction is also the starting point of something else. We won't control, we just make the first proposal. So this is how we organize all the media. And what we conceive now is also at the end of the episode between, this is season 1, we prepare also season 2 and season 3, and in the middle of that there's a movie. If everything's go right, 2 months after we should have a movie ready.
Wow.
So this is the project for the moment.
There's a lot of people who are trying to do TV and internet and mobile and communication together, but I think a lot of people are like, it's still conceptual and they're not actually doing it. Why do you think you can start doing this?
Firstly, because we have got support for that. So we save few money to start thinking the media not in a way of declining and not in the opposite way, because when you meet professionals from multimedia, for example, internet, and they try to do something for their own. When you meet people from television, they're very scared because they say, okay, we lose audience, and so they try to keep something for their own goal. And it's very difficult to link them and to say, it's not conflictual, it's something complementary. So we decide to say, okay, we want to tell a story, what is the story, and we don't care on which media we will explain this story. maybe we can write it on a book, maybe we can do it on the internet, maybe we can do it on television. So we start, what is a good story now? What is the good story? We can be mass media and attractive, sensitive. So we define the guideline of the story, and we say, okay, now how we can organize this story is somewhere in the middle of all those media. But the main media is not television, it's not internet, it's not cinema, it's not mobile phone. The story is somewhere in the middle. So we are few thinking this way. So we know we go in that direction. So the first one coming with a good proposal will be seen a lot. There's some American thinking about that, and surely some Japanese also. And we want to do it as a point of view, European or France, and with co-production, of course. So the most important thing for us is, okay, we have the story in heads, but it's not linking to specific media. The specific media will have an expression of the story, but it's just one expression. I mean, the relationship with the audience on mobile phone is very different than on television. So we say, okay, what's this particular relationship with the viewer, what aspect of the story we can deliver on mobile phone. So because it's short things, the viewer is moving himself, so it cannot be concentrated a long time, so you have to do it. So it's much more nervous. So link it with news, maybe something you deliver in news. Okay, it's happened something now, and you've got also the feedback possible. But we don't that much think in terms of interactivity or feedback, because we know that people need to be taken hands in a story. I say, let's go, I will tell you a story, the story is da 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 da, like in a book or like in a movie. So we do the same thing, we tell a story. But we start a story at different moments, and we in kind of galactic media. For one viewer, it's absolutely impossible to see everything. So we need to say, did you see that? No, I didn't see that. Okay, I'll go there. Da, 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 da. So you do your own way in the story, but it's always partial. And there's this kind of surreality, like also Murakami story. I mean, the writers, the Japanese writers. So with many characters, they are very far away at the beginning of the story, and at the moment they will cross them, and you just follow them like that. So they quote them. And it should be a co-production between France and Japan. Oh. And it's on a project called Neige. I got something in Japanese also.
Oh, great.
Est-ce que j'en ai là en japonais? If not, I stand it.
Neige is snow?
Snow, yes. And it's an adaptation of a novel which has been very well sold in France, Italy, and Spain. And it had been translated in 19 languages. And it's the story of French tie worker, a very beautiful woman, at the end of 19th century, so at the end of the Edo period for the Japanese.
Edo.
And she was she's a tie worker, you know what's tie worker, and she go to Japan. And when she arrived in Japan, she like an angel and very far away. And they call him Neige because it's very light, and she's breathed some white feather. So it's a fantastic show. And there's an old samurai. We are at the beginning of the end of the samurai in Japan, who fall in love with this woman. So this woman settled down in Japan. They have a daughter together. The action took place at the end of the 19th century, so one century ago. And 6 years after, she said, "Okay, I need to go to a rope again and to make tie roper because she feels to do something more. So they organize a big party in the mountains and with a long cable between two mountains. So she starts the show and there's a problem with the cable breaks down, so she falls in the mountain. The samurai get crazy, he tried to find her and they don't find her. So, and 20 years after, we start the actions with a young Japanese, 19 years old, with his father is Shintoist, and the father say they live in the south of Hokkaido, in island, and he say, okay, my son, you need to prepare to be a priest yourself, Shintoist priest, and the boy said, no, it's not my life, I want to make poetry. And so he do some very beautiful haiku, and he starts working to maybe to write waka. And he write very beautiful, and the father is not agreed. I mean, you can't do that, it's very complicated, no, you will be a priest, and so he fights against his father. And the father just accepts a little bit because the son is very well, and he brings some the poets, official poet of the emperor, coming to read the poesy, and the official poet say, okay, it's very well written, but you need to spend 1 year with this old master samurai, which is now a painter, and to be trained by him. So he crossed the Japan, and in the mountains, in the middle of the travel, there's tempest, snow tempest, and so he go to a cave, okay? And he's very tired and exhausted, and I discover a beautiful woman in ice, because with age, with years and years, the woman get up, and it's not visible because he's in the cave, but with Hazard, he just take a refuge in a cave, and he sees this woman very beautiful in the ice like that. So he spent 1 day with her because he says it's incredible, like an image. And a few days after, he go to the samurai. The samurai is blind, so he don't see anymore, but he's painter. But he make poetry, music. It's an old samurai, so martial arts. So it's complete artist. Very well known in Japan. It's fiction, so we invented. And he discovered this young guy. That's the woman he saw a few days before in the house. Was the wife of this guy, disappeared 20 years before. And so they make the training, and at the end of the story, bring the samurai in the mountains, and the samurai want to die within this French woman's in the mountain. So this is a film about artistic vocations. Why do you write? Why do you make music? Why do you dance? Why do you do something absolutely useless, but absolutely fundamental for you and for others? Why you need that, and how do you organize yourself to make your life turn around it? So, and what decision you need to take. So this is a film on that matter, and this is also a film about linking between France and Japan at the end of 19th century, where the Japan opened to the world, and there's many creative link between the two countries. It's a fantastic period, very creatively. It's wow. There's industrially, politically, arts, au niveau de arts, there's many share, it's going very fast. In France we build Eiffel Tower, in Japan we put the train, the telegraph, so there's many things in 10, 20 years, so it's 20 crazy years, the end of Edo period. With a lot of cultural share between France and Japan. So this is a film with how a Japanese can be understood by a Japanese. They don't speak the language, they don't have the same culture, and they fall in love together. Mm-hmm. So it's a love story. But it's a very delicate film, very through the eye of this young poet. Mm-hmm. And this young poet at the beginning of the story is very attracted by the snow, mm-hmm. the white. and he see the delicateness of the snow, and he see many details in the snow. So the first haiku he writes is all around the snow, and the official poet of the emperor saying, okay, your haiku is very nice, but there's a lack of colors. You need to put passion in it. And he said, there's a lot of passion in white. There's many white. There's many way of explaining the snow, of telling the snow. And but the poet said, no. If you want to write waka, you need to put colors and passion and go one step further. And but at the beginning, he's very attracted by the detail of snow. So all the haiku is very simple, very white, very pure. So that's what the two characters are linked together with the snow. And she's we call that her snow because well, yeah, she's light. She rides on the air, and maybe she will spread the feather. So sometimes she has got a big, and they take feather and she will flocon, on dit comment ça? The snake. No flakes, snowflakes. So the feather is snowflakes coming to you very softly, and she's an angel. On this project specifically because this is story half in Japan and half in France, and it's also phantasmatic. I want to bring to Japan an idealistic vision from European. So it's not maybe true Japanese, but it's the way of maybe European and French people love the Japan. So I want to very clear out the value, attitude, maybe images. We make the French and the European dreams from Japan. So just to say, there's a very beautiful scenes from Japan's European loves, and there's some very delicate messages Japan have in themselves. They don't really know, but it's better if they just they give this a gift they do to the world. So I want to focus on that also. So I will really appreciate working with Japanese on this project and make a good film for French and for Japanese audience, with both together. So this is the challenge of this project.
Thank you.